Okay, suppose we are starting with the same example as in the last video. So I have got certain varieties of crops and I am interested in assessing their yields. So I start with a number of plots. Suppose I have got how many? I have got 1, 2, 3, 8 by 3. So 24 plots as identical as possible, and then I have got 3 varieties. So you already know how to carry out that black box setup, and the black box will be like this. So you'll have input variety, plot will be your basic unit, observational unit, and you get the yield, and of course you have random error. So this is not something that is at all unknown to us. So what do? I take out of these 24 plots, 24 happens to be divisible by 3. So I will pick 1/3 of them, random 1/3. So I'll pick random 8 plots, and then I will show variety 1. In the remaining, out of the remaining 16, I will pick random 8 again, variety 2 and variety 3 in the remaining. So I will get some such allocation, and based on that, I will do my analysis. So that is something that is just standard. Now it happens often when you take these 24 plots that are as identical as possible, that is pretty difficult. As I have already told you, some of these plots are deliberately made very small, because otherwise if you are looking for large plots, then it is very difficult to get hold of 24 plots that are more or less similar. Even in this case, it may happen that the region is a hilly one. For example, I saw this very example in a place called Silchar near Assam, which is slightly hilly, and there the problem was that they got all these things fine. However, being a hilly region, some of the plots were on the plain and some of the plots were on the slope. Now this difference of the tilt of the terrain, that is not entirely something random. First of all, you know that these plots differ with respect to this particular feature, and that tilt, the slope, naturally is expected to have some implication on the yield, because certain things grow better on hillsides like tea, and certain other things like paddy grow better on plain. So it may happen that some varieties prefer the plain land and some varieties prefer the slope. So you cannot take that, sweep that under the rug of just random error. As a result, you have to now work with one more factor, which I have called tilt. So now you have got tilt, something that is really not under your control, because some of the plots are on the slopy side and some of the plots are on the plain part, and you of course have variety. So variety here is treatment, and the tilt is what I have called a control factor. Both of them are factors, categorical stuff. So I have got these two inputs and the output is just as before. Now in this case, will you still continue to use the same allocation? If you do that, that would be bad, because just look carefully, you have got lots of ones. Most of the plots that are using variety 1, they happen to be on the sloping side. So if you find that the yield of all those plots, so the average yield of 1, variety 1 is low, you would not be able to say, was it because that particular variety was bad, or was it because that that variety, or any of the varieties for that matter, does not grow well on a sloping terrain. It could be because of either the tilt, or it could be because of that variety 1. So you will not be able to say which one is the cause. As a result, we would like to distribute all the varieties more or less equally over the plain land and the sloping land. So our allocation would be slightly different in this case. Earlier, we took all the 24 and randomly partitioned it into 3 equal parts, 8 plots each. Now we shall again start with the same 24 plots, half of which are on the sloping side, half of which on the plain side. Then I will focus my attention on, say, only the plain part. There are how many? There are 12 such, and I will pick 1/3 of them and devote them to variety 1. So I am focusing my attention only on the plane part and doing whatever I did earlier, but now only on the plane part. And again, out of these 12, I pick some 4 other random things where I saw the variety 2 and similarly variety 3. Thus, variety 1, 2, 3 all get their fair share of plain land. I do the same thing, again freshly randomizing on the sloping part. So again I will have 4 plots on the sloping side, under 1, 4 under 2 and 4 under 3. So now you see the way I randomize that changed. I now randomize things separately for the plane part and the sloping part. That's a standard technical term for that. We say that we controlled for tilt. That is, we did the entire random allocation separately for the case when tilt is plane and separately for the case where tilt is slope. So now we have our data set and we are ready to analyze it.